Okay, we are with Hans Dockter, the creator of Gradle and the CEO of Gradle Inc. Gradle is a build tool. We already have build tools in the Java community. What was the genesis of Gradle that led you to build another one?
Yeah, so we have and we have Maven, and both have their strengths and both have their weaknesses. So and we wanted to come up with a build system that combines the strength of both of them.
Right.
So the first tagline of Gradle was kind of make the impossible possible, make the possible easy, and make the easy elegant. So, and when you look at that from an Ant and Maven perspective, so from an Ant point of view, Ant makes the impossible possible, right? But it doesn't make the possible easy, and it doesn't make the easy elegant. In fact, Ant builds don't scale very well when they become complex. They become very hard to maintain, etc., etc. But Ant never locks you in, right?
Right.
So whereas Maven doesn't make the impossible possible. Sometimes it makes the possible easy. Sometimes it makes the possible very hard. So depending on what you want to do. So yeah, and with Gradle we want to score high points in all of those categories, right? We never want to lock you in. So we think the project automation domain, if you're serious and ambitious about automating your project, is a very complex domain. And it's a domain where the build system can't anticipate all your requirements. So so if a build system thinks it can do that, it is bound to causes you pain. Either making it very hard to do what you want, or you come to a point where you say, oh, I would love to automate that, but it's just too hard to do, right? And so, and we think that that's project automation is so important that is a high price to pay.
Okay, so you've taken the good parts of Ant and the good parts of Maven, integrated them together, and probably added some additional capability.
Yes, yes. So so we have the low-level idea of Ant, where you have tasks, or an Ant you have targets, and they form a directed acyclic graph, which you can execute, and is a very flexible way called dependency-based programming. But we also provide the build by convention idea from Maven to make it very easy if you have a standard project to get the build running. But yeah, on top of that, one other thing we think is pretty critical for many enterprise build is the performance. So especially those projects which are ambitious regarding the tests and regarding doing a lot of automation. And that's where Gradle is the first build tool in the Java world that offers parallel testing. So using the cores for all the cores you have for executing a unit test, and the first build system in the Java world that offers a very reliable incremental build. Right. So, and that both of those features can decrease the average build time dramatically. So, and that, yeah, that's very important. For example, before we had those features, the Gradle build was starting to take 40 minutes, and then you start to think, when you did a little change, do I really want to run the build? I don't have. It doesn't. I'm sure I have no. There won't be any side effect, right? I just committed, and of course you broke something, right?
Right.
So we want to enable you to get fast feedback. And
right. So what's the relationship of Gradle to Groovy?
The relationship has a couple of facets. First of all, it's the language we use for implementing our domain-specific language, which sits on top of the Gradle core, which is written in Java. So, and some people ask us why Groovy, why not JRuby or some other of the new dynamic languages you can use on a JVM. And our answer is that Gradle is focused for building Java projects. So we want to make it as easy as possible for a Java team to use Gradle, and Groovy is so seamlessly integrated with Java and by intention uses the same syntax as far as possible, that this is the natural choice.
Mm-hmm.
And we also like the Groovy community very much. So, and that's another aspect where we are very happy with Groovy.
Mm-hmm.
That we're part of that ecosystem. Yeah.
Okay, so if I have a project and say I'm using Ant for my build, how hard would it be to migrate my Ant build to a Gradle-based build? I know it's a very general question.
Yes, no. It's a good question. It's a build migration is a very important thing. It's a mission critical thing. It can be a nightmare. So we pay a lot of attention to that topic of build migration, specifically with Ant, it's as easy as it gets. So if you have a very complex Ant build, it's not a free lunch to migrate that to Gradle. But we offer a couple of things to make that easy. First of all, Gradle is extremely flexible, so it can adapt to any layout you have. Which means you don't need to branch your project for the Gradle build, right? If Gradle couldn't be adapt to your existing structure, you would need to branch your project and tear it apart to a structure Gradle could deal with. But Gradle can always deal with what is there. So you can do refactoring in baby steps. You don't need to branch. So the Gradle build would live in the same branch as the Ant build. And then what we also recommend is to write tests. So Gradle tasks that are tests and test, for example, whether the Gradle archives are exactly the same as the Ant archives, whether the Gradle build runs the same test as the Ant build, etc.
So both can coexist in
Yes.
the transition phase.
And you can even do a partial migration. In Gradle you can import an Ant build, and you can import it in a way that the Ant build can also depend on Gradle tasks. So we inject the Gradle task into the Ant build so that the Ant build thinks, oh, those are targets. So you can pick and choose which parts of the Ant builds you want to migrate and which one you want to leave in native Ant, and Gradle is fine with that. That's a feature we also want to offer for Maven builds in the future, but we wait for Maven 3 and then we will tackle that.
So that sounds like a very, very interesting tool you have there.
Yes, we think so, yes.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.